Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this special satsang in honor of Swami Kriyanandaji's Moksha Day. We are here to honor his life and his legacy. We'll be listening to some of Swamiji's music. We'll also be seeing some video clips of Swamiji speaking and about his life. And also there will be a question and answer session. So welcome again, everyone. And let's begin with the prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Lord, Friend, Beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, Beloved Master, Paramahansa Yoganji, Saints of all religions, the power of my faith, beloved Swamiji, we honor thee, thy life, thy teachings, thy divine friendship in our lives. We thank thee for thy guidance, for thy love. Be with us now with this special satsang in honor of thee. Om Shanti. We'll hear two songs now of Swamiji's.
The green summer fade and winter draw near. My Lord, in your presence I live without fear. Through tempest, through snows, through turbulent of your hand is my strength and my guide. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. The dancers will pass, the singing must end. I welcome the darkness with you for my friend. The green summer fade and winter draw near. My Lord, in your presence I live without fear. Through tempest, through snows, through turbulent tide, the touch of your hand is my strength and my guide. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. The dancers will pass, the singing must end. I welcome the darkness with you for my friend.
Now we'll be showing a couple of brief video clips on Swamiji's life and his legacy. And as we all know, on the 21st of April was the Swamiji's 2013 Swamiji's passing day or moksha. So we're honoring that today at our class. So let's see the two videos that we
From the very beginning, I had only really two desires. One was to know truth. I didn't know that truth was God, but truth I wanted to know. The other was to help other people to find it. True freedom means to be able to do those things that will lead you away from the ego. I love everybody. I love God in them. And those who respond to that love, I believe there is a tie between us. Let us all try to serve Him in such a way that we can be His instruments of His love and His light and joy. God bless you all. I'd like to begin by reading from my new book, which probably most of you have seen already, the Commentaries, the Essence of the Bhagavad-Gita. Among thousands of men, scarcely one strives for spiritual perfection. And among those blessed ones who seek me, scarcely one out of many thousands perceives me as I am.
Father, now that I wander with thee, flowers and fields seem alive with thy joy.
I couldn't set aside his words to me. Your life is one of intense activity and meditation. His statement, your work is lecturing and writing, and his frequent charge to me, you have a great work to do. Moreover, I had dedicated this incarnation to spreading his work. I live for nothing else.
Well, what is life really like after death? And I started to write a novel about this, and I was very interested in what it's all about. And I remember at the age of 15, I decided that the answer, that what the world needs is examples of communities, of small groups of people who try to live an idealistic life and in their idealism set an example for others.
Father, now that I dance in thy name.
He came into this world not to show us what a great man he was. He came to show us how great we are. He came to remind us of the God within.
To set hearts aflame. Father, now that I wander with thee, flowers and fields seem alive with thy joy. All that I owned to thee I've given. Now I sing in thy love I am free. Father, now that I dance in thy name, birds and animals share in my song. All my sorrows, all my merriment join in music to set hearts aflame. Ora, Padre, che vivo in te, fiori e alberi cantan d'amor, niente è mio, è tutto tuo, vivo in te nella libertà. Ora, Padre, che danzo in te, festeggia tutta la terra con me. Tutti i fratelli miei s'uniscono per lodarti, o nostro Signore.
My thought in the background of my mind was, boy, this will be a good story to tell.
Now I'll ask Natindra to come on the screen. And we have 2 or 3 questions. Then we have one final, really beautiful video to share with you as well.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. For the questions. Dhyanaji, the first question is, how have people felt Swamiji's presence since his passing?
Yeah, how have people felt the presence of Swamiji since his passing? Well, I think there are many ways. I think that some people, maybe in dreams, have seen Swamiji or felt him speaking, heard him speaking to them or giving them a message. I think that's possible. But I think it's much more subtle than that, generally. It's not like a voice from heaven comes to you, typically. For most of us, it's much more subtle. And that means we have to be more in attunement. I remember I asked Swamiji before his passing, some years, but it was in India. I said, Swamiji, will you be able to help us as much as you are now when you're no longer with us after your passing? And he gave me a very interesting answer that I had to meditate on for some time. He said, I really hope so. And I thought, well, doesn't he know, or shouldn't he know? And what I realized he was saying was, I will be there, but will you? That makes sense. Will you be able to attune to my level of consciousness and awareness so that I can help you. And I think for all of us, it's a matter of attunement and of lifting our energy up and awakening our higher level of awareness and perception and feeling and heart and all of that to be able to feel Swamiji. And I think that some people feel him in guiding them and directing them, and it's subtle guidance. I've never felt that you must do this or you're going the wrong way, or it's always just a turn this way. Now ask this person, and I think, for example, we had a beautiful concert the other night. I hope many of you heard it. It was the Ananda choir singing the oratorio Christ Lives. And it was so beautiful. It went on for about an hour and a half, and Swamiji wrote that music. Now, what did all of us in the audience feel? Swamiji's presence. What did the singers feel? Swamiji's presence. So they, through singing, were attuning to Swamiji and bringing his vibration to, and God's vibration, which was in Swamiji, to everyone. I think when someone teaches, if they're in tune, they feel Swamiji's presence, his guidance. You're teaching yoga, or you're teaching chanting, or singing, or teaching meditation, or Raja Yoga, or whatever. If you pray to Swamiji and Master, of course, you feel guided in your words, the stories you use, the energy you have, the vibrations. I just heard again today's Master Swamiji saying that Master told them it's not enough to give a class. You have to give the vibrations of God. And as a disciple, give the vibrations of God through your group to others. That touch that has to come to every disciple. And so I think a teacher feels Swamiji's presence flowing through them to those who they help. A counselor, someone helping people that way, will feel the presence flowing through them that way. I think someone who is maybe a musician playing Swamiji's music would feel it in that way. A yoga teacher would feel it in that way. But it's a subtle tapping in to his level of awareness. And it's not easy to do. And I think if we have to monitor ourselves, what movies do we watch? What music do we listen to? What company do we keep? What do we look at on social media? And all of these things either are going to be uplifting and helpful. Some may be neutral, but not a lot of them. And many of them draw our consciousness down. And then we wonder, well, how come I'm not hearing Master's voice or Swamiji's guidance? How come I don't know which way to go? How come I pray and I don't get any answers? Well, Master said, God hears all prayers but restless ones. He answers all prayers but restless ones just a little bit. Now think about that, because how can God even know what you want if you don't know what you want? And so with Swamiji, I think many people who are in tune and who work at attunement, pray to Swamiji, ask. And Swamiji used to tell us to, if you don't know what to do in a circumstance or with this person or project, just ask, what would Swamiji do? What would Master do? Instead of, what do I want? What do I desire? Oh, I'm attached this way or whatever. You don't really. How can the divine come to you if you're not open, receptive, aware, interested? And so this is how, what's interesting, Nitendra, is this is how Swamiji was when he was in the body as well. He didn't tell you a lot. You wanted him to, but he was very subtle. He would, remember someone asked him, Swamiji gave this person a job. I've said this before. on these satsangs, and the person said, "Well, Swamiji, what should I do with the on this job? What do you want me to do?" And Swamiji said, "I gave you the job. You figure it out." Now, how do you figure it out? You have to lift your energy, get an attunement, and then the answers are there. When you're in that attunement, there's solutions to problems, answers, inspiration, ideas, insights. They're all there. But not even Swamiji from the heavenly realms can help you until you help yourself. And so it's subtle. And I don't want to just say, "Oh, he'll come to you in a dream if you pray to him." I've had some dreams of Swamiji. They were always instructional. They were never like ego bomb or anything like that. It was like, get to work. But the other part was figure it out yourself. And so I think that's the important thing in this, is that as Swamiji is, I feel he's really trying to help us. He's there. He wants this work to be successful. You see what's happening in India. It's booming. I'm down here in Ananda, LA. It's booming down here. I was in Palo Alto, it's booming in Palo Alto. I was in Ananda Village, booming. You got to know there's power behind all of us who are just doing the best we can. And that's Master's power. And I think more specifically to Swamiji. I think he's working overtime to just help us to keep our energy up, keep the ideas flowing, keep reaching out, get off the couch, keep moving. And as you do so, the other thing is you feel, I think how do you know Swamiji's presence is there? There's a wonderful feeling in your heart. So sweet. And it's energy as well. You can feel him as sweetness, you can feel him as energy, as magnetism, as power. But it's not, what I want to leave you with, it's not passive. Swamiji, come to me. Well, I've never seen that before. And even in the body, as you felt, and I know some, we all go through ups and downs, but he never let you stay down long if you didn't want to. He just keep giving you things to do, and you felt better and better, and more energy, and more light, and more free, and more happy, and then you figure out problems are over. But if you dwell, I don't feel good, you just won't make it. So make the effort. Make the effort yourself. And don't just rely on Swamiji. He did all he could while he was in the body, my gosh. Don't drain him dry now. I think help yourself. He gave such a great example, and of discipleship, of how to serve, of the right attitudes, and we'll get into that, I think, in the next question. But anyway, that's what I feel about is Swamiji going to help? Of course. The question is, are you going to be at the point where you can lift yourself up? To all those who received him, it says in the Bible, he gave, meaning Christ, gave the power to become the sons of God. That power is there, but you have to receive it in yourself. So, you have another question?
Yes, Dhyanaji, there are two more questions. The first one is, what was his legacy?
Okay. Well, there's several parts of Swamiji's legacy, aren't there? To me, and I think maybe for many, his greatest legacy was who he was. He was a great disciple of a great master. He exemplified discipleship, and he lived the life of a disciple. And I think that is Swamiji's legacy above everything else, was who he was. What he did is secondary to who he was. And when Swamiji, during his life, he would say, I don't think what I did is very important, but I want to be known as a good disciple. He didn't say a great disciple, he said a good disciple, meaning that I followed what my guru told me to do. I followed his teachings, I followed his techniques. And I think that is Swamiji's legacy, that who he became through following Master. You can't have a better legacy than that, really. Then second to that, I would say Swamiji's, what he did. So what he left here, and that people need to tune into these things. He left his writings, the writings of Master through him. Master told him, your job in this life is editing, lecturing, writing. And Swamiji wrote so many books, 150. Now people come to me and they say, well, now I'm reading this book and that book, and they're not reading our books. And I'm sitting here with Narayan, who's, in Ananda, LA, is in charge of Crystal Clarity Books. So I tell people when they say I'm reading this book and that guru's book, I say, have you read the 150 books on that table over there? Swamiji's? Until you've read those books, don't read other books. There's books on every topic. And so one of Swamiji's legacies is he left writings on every aspect of Master's teachings. That in itself alone would be just tremendous. And then, of course, Swamiji left a legacy of music. And I was staying with my mom yesterday, and today too, I was playing Swamiji's music. But yesterday she came and said, who's that music by? It's so wonderful. And people like that music, even if they don't know Swamiji. And so then I gave her the link to the recording of Christ Lives, the oratorio from the other night on the life of Jesus. This music is just divine. It's attuned to Om, Swamiji said. And so it lifts your consciousness. So he left a vibration in this world that we're living in that's so unstable and chaotic and going through so many ups and downs right now that heals the soul and keeps you in attunement with God. So Swamiji's books, Swamiji's music are part of his legacy. Then there are the communities. He started communities, and I'm telling you, I hope all of you can get to Ananda Village at some point. It's just really an astral paradise, and I've been staying there, as you know. I've been broadcasting from there sometimes, but you need to live with other devotees. We were meditating here at Ananda, LA, and they have a beautiful community here. There are several homes together right in the same area. There are 18, 20 of them who live together. They have a big center. I'll see on Sunday, at Sunday service, Sunday satsang. Then they have a beautiful place away from the city, retreat facility. I mean, they have a big work here. Why? They need to be together. So Swamiji brought Master's ideal of communities, of living together, serving together, working together, having your family, your school, home, job, everything in one place as best as you can. But why? Because we need the satsang. And also that magnet, when we were meditating here today, the magnet of meditating with people. I've missed that. We all have because of COVID, but that's so powerful. It just propels you in your own meditation. And so Swamiji, he just launched the idea of communities. Nobody else had any interest, really. And so we have communities all over of devotees living together. That's very important, especially during trying times like these. And so Master said, and I'm just so glad we're starting this in India. He said, go out, find property, get friends together, grow your food, be together. There will be hard times coming. And so Swamiji launched the community movement. That's part of his legacy. And then I would say the other part of Swamiji's legacy was really his spirit, his discipleship spirit, his attitudes, that he showed how to live a yogic life. Now you might think, well, that's not really what it is. How many people? There are many, I don't know, how many, but probably a lot of sadhus and yogis in caves. But Swamiji lived his life in the public. He was our dearest friend and guide. He lived amongst people, helping people. Now why? Because he wanted to show how to live the life of a yogi, how to be a disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda, how to live the right attitudes, how to learn to behave, how to be positive, how to have joy, how to have magnetism, how to have energy, how to work a job and keep your family together, and all of these things. He showed it. He showed it through his life and through the communities that we have. And so, right spirit, right attitude, how to live the teachings. And not many people are doing that. A lot of people go to centers and go home. That's fine, but living it every day is not a lot of people. So that was a part of Swamiji's legacy as well. So I hope that's helpful. There are many other things, but those things are definite that you can see. And you have a final question?
Yes, Dhyanaji. we may go a couple of minutes over time, but I think it's important to ask this question, which is, how can we carry on with the legacy that you mentioned going forward? And what can I do personally for it?
That's a very important question, because people tend to look to the others. Well, they've been here 40, 50 years, let them carry on. Well, I'm new and there's nothing I can do. But I remember when I first came, Swamiji had you serving immediately. Wasn't like wait 10 years and then you can serve. And so he had people singing in the choir. There were other people setting up for the programs. I remember the first group I was in, first center, ashram, I really couldn't do much of anything. I just was brand new, but I said, well, I want to help. And this is for all of you. Find some way that you can serve. Don't just sit on the couch and wait for 10 years. Jump in the water, start swimming, and you just get stronger and stronger right away. And so I said, well, I can't really do much, but I learned one of the chants. And so I tried, they said, okay, you play the chant at the satsang, and the chant didn't come off that well. But they said, well, maybe next time don't play the chant. Well, I said, I'll bring cookies next time. So I brought the cookies. I said, the cookies aren't that good. But you see, the spirit, if you just say, this is mine, it's my work. Master's brought me here. Swamiji's allowing me to serve. Just find some way that you can give. Take the yoga teacher training. Take the meditation teacher training. Take both. Go to the center. Set up for the programs. Learn the harmonium. Take the harmonium chanting classes. Teach education for life. I mean, there's so many things that people can do. I remember I said to Swamiji once, because he had written so many books, and he was writing a book all the time. I just said, Swamiji, I can't write anything. I was feeling like, what can I do? And he said, do what you can. That's the point. Do what you can. There's something everybody can do. Be positive. That's giving to the work. Be enthusiastic. Go to the Sunday satsang and help greet people. Get in the boutique. Sell the books. Offer the books to people who don't know anything. Help with the website, Facebook. I mean, there are just so many ways to serve. But those, you might think it's so small. But if everyone together is doing that, then it's a big magnet moving forward. If one person is doing it, I'll give this example, and I don't want to embarrass people, but I may. That when I first came to the center, I won't say which one, but in India, I would go in early. I would set up the chairs, I would set up the pillows, I get the whiteboard, the pens, and everybody would sort of trickle in late. And then they would leave. And so then I take down the whiteboard, take down the chairs, take down the pillows. And that went on for some weeks. And no one seemed to want to help. And then I just said, hey, this isn't right. I'm happy to help here, but you have to jump in and help. Oh, yeah, we want to help. They needed to be asked. But don't wait to be asked. I guess that's the final point. Just get in there and say, first of all, ask Master. What can I do? Ask Swamiji, what do you want me to do? And then start with whatever you feel and build on that. And there are infinite amount of things that any of us can do. I felt I couldn't do anything. And more and more and more. The more I felt I couldn't do anything, the more Swamiji gave me. And the more I grew and the more I could do things. And so for all of you, the final point here is that there's not many organizations who even let you serve as much as Ananda does. Serve the Guru's work. I feel meditation, yes, but for me, my greatest growth has come from being allowed to serve Master's work and to move his work forward. So let us all get in and join hands and just move Master's work forward in any way that we can. We'll feel his blessings, we'll feel Swamiji's blessings, and his great life and legacy living with Ananda. God bless you all. And thank you, Natindra. God bless you. Bye-bye. Have a good day there.